all be familiar with all the symbols that are here. You know less than sign, greater than sign, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. So solving inequalities is very similar to just solving a normal equation. The only thing that you have to look out for is if you're going to multiply or divide by a negative, and it says that in here, if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, then you have to reverse the inequality sign. The only other exception on that would be if your pronumeral was on the right-hand side and you wanted to move it to the left, you would also switch the symbol then. Okay, but it's usually just multiplying or dividing by a negative. We turn the sign the other way. We also need to be able to graph our inequalities. Anything that has an equal to sign on it is going to have a coloured in dot. Okay, because it's at that point, it can be equal to that point, so we colour in the dot if it has a greater than or equal to or a less than or equal to. If it is just a greater than, no equal to sign, it can't be at A, whatever A happens to be. It's right up to it, but it can't actually be at it, so we do an open circle for the ones that do not have the equal to signs. Okay, so hopefully the first 4 of those are fairly straightforward. If X is greater than A, we have an open circle, and greater than means we're going to the right. Greater than or equal to, the only difference is I colour in the circle, still getting bigger, going to the right, getting bigger. Less than means open circle again, but less than means we're going to the left. And less than or equal to means we can have it coloured in and less than like that. However, the ones that might be a little less familiar are when we have these ones down here, where we want X values that are between two numbers. Now, you always put the X in the middle, and your two symbols that you will use will always be less than signs. See, all of these ones here, they're all less than signs. Some of them have the equal to sign on them as well, but we never do them as greater than. We always point them that way. And that's because they read nicely that way, that X is going to be between A and B. A is the smaller number, A is smaller than X, and X is smaller than B, between A and B. Again, the circles are still done the same way. This one didn't have any equal to signs, so these were both open circles. So whatever A was, it's here, B is there, and it means I want the values in between them. Yeah? Do I need to talk more about that, or does that all make sense? Great. Talk some more, she says. All right, I'll do one with an equal to sign. So if I have X is greater than A, so that one doesn't have an equal to sign, that one would have an open circle. But this one has the equal to sign, so I have a closed in circle at the B, and it's the values in between, so I just draw the line in between them.
But the one above didn't have equal to an.
Oh, that's because it should. I changed that. Let me fix it. So yes, that does need to have, because I had squiggles, so I was coming in and changing it. So yes, because they're coloured in, they should be equal to signs. Yes, good. All right, examples. What you need to be able to do. Example number 1, first of all, we've got the graph there, and you've got to tell me what the inequality would be to represent that graph. So first of all, it gives us the letter. It's usually here on the end, so this is X. We're going to be using X. So X is the letter I'm using. Because the circle is not coloured in, it's going to be an open circle, and I'm pointing at the values getting bigger. So that means that X has to be bigger than or greater than that first starting number, which was a 1. Yeah? Good. Part B. Again, X says on here on the number line, X is the pronumeral that I need to use. So X is going to be in the middle. Now I know I'm going to need both less than signs. One of them even has a coloured in dot, which is the second one. So it's going to need an equal to sign on that one to say that it can be at that value. So X is less than 3. The 3 is going to be there, but it is greater than -2. Or in other words, the X is between -2 and 3 is how we can read that. Okay, so there are our graphs. On the next page, we have to solve our inequalities and show the solution on the number line. So remember what I said? Treat it just like a normal linear equation. Just be careful. If you have to divide or multiply by a negative, then we're going to be reversing the sign. So the first one, I want to move that 5. I'm going to subtract 5. X is by itself. I write my less than sign. Just going to copy that down into the next row. And 9 take away 5 is 4. Now when you draw, that's the solution, solved it. When you draw it, you should use a ruler. These are little number lines, they're graphs. So you use when you multiply or divide by negative. We'll get to some of those. And you should also measure a few spaces. You only need 3 spaces, 3 lines. That's enough. The value, your solution, the 4, it's going to go on the middle one. Now, you should also put the pronumeral. This is an x that we've solved for. I should write that on the end of my number line to say this is the solution for x. Because in the next one it's an a, so it's going to be a solution for a. My x is less than 4. It doesn't have an equal to sign on that inequality, so I'm going to have an open circle at the 4. And the value's less than 4, which is why I need the ones on either side. I have a 3 lower and a 5 higher. Less than would be pointing that way. And done. Let's do it again. Part B is a 2-step equation. So the first thing I need to do is to add 3. Get rid of that.
Is that
It's a greater than or equal to. You have to change that on yours probably.
Yeah.
4a is greater than or equal to 19 plus 3 is 22. 22. Then to get rid of the 4, it's multiplied, so I need to divide by 4. A is by itself, still a greater than or equal to, haven't changed that sign. 22 divided by 4 doesn't go perfectly. I could either simplify that down to be 11 over 2 or change it into a mixed numeral, which is 5.5.
Both right.
Both of them are right. 5.5 is going to be easier to draw on a number line, however. Okay, so on our little number line, we're going to have our 3 lines at least. You're welcome to do more. So I'm going to have 5, 6, and 7. 5.5, because I'm not at one of the exact numbers there, you should label exactly where your solution is. So I'm going to put a little arrow in there saying that's where my 5.5 is. This inequality sign has an equal to sign on it. So I'm going to do a coloured in dot at 5.5, and the greater than will be going to the right.
What are they called with the line?
Greater than. So that it would be a greater than if it didn't have the equal to, or it's a greater than or equal to if it has it as well. What's happening? Ready for part C?
Not yet, miss. You forgot something.
I did! I forgot my little A. Thank you. Right, I need my little A on the end of my number line.
I've never done that before.
I was just saying, you're meant to have it there. It's not something we tend to deduct marks for, but it is a good little thing to keep in mind. Okay, part C, solving. The 5 is positive. The minus belongs with the A. So to move that 5, I'm going to subtract 5. Get rid of that. Minus A is greater than 9 take away 5 is 4. Now I have a minus sign, which is technically a minus 1 in front of that A. So I need to divide by a negative 1. Now that I'm dividing by a negative number, you will remember that you need to turn the sign the other way. So it now becomes a less than sign. 4 divided by a negative 1 is negative 4. Drawing it on the number line. A on the end, -4, and a space on either side, so it'd be -5 on the left, -3 on the right. No equal to sign on that, so open circle, and less than goes to the left. Part D. The first thing I need to move is the 3 at the front. It's positive, so I need to subtract the 3. Get rid of that. I still have minus x over 5 is less than or equal to 6 take away 3 is 3. Now, minus signs are funny things. When they're at the front of fractions, you can actually choose where you want them to go. You could put it on the top with the x, but what's going to make it easier if you actually go, oh, I could make that a -5 on the bottom so that you can move it across in one move. So if it's -5 on the bottom, that's divided by, I'm going to times by a -5 to move it to the other side. Now, first of all, warning bells go off. You're going, I'm timesing by a negative number. So that means I need to turn my sign around to greater than or equal to. 3 times by -5 is -15. Done. Draw up a little number line with your ruler, preferably. The -15 is in the middle, -16 and -14, showing a number on either side. This one had an equal to on it, so I'm going to put a coloured in circle at the -15 and pointing at the values bigger and my little x on the end of my number line. And one more E, which is slightly getting harder equations each time. We are going to expand out the brackets first. So expanding brackets, I'm going to leave the left-hand side. 7 take away 5m is greater than -2 times 3 is -6m. -2 times -1 is a +2. Now that the brackets are gone, the next step is to deal with the two pronumerals that I have. I have one on each side. So I want to move the smaller one. Which one's smaller? -6 is smaller than -5. Yeah? Yeah. So the opposite of -6 is to +6m. +6m. Cancel that off. 7 -5m plus 6m is 1m, a positive 1m. My sign, I still haven't done anything to affect that sign, so it's still a greater than. And on the right-hand side, I have a 2. The only thing left to do is to subtract the 7. M is greater than, 2 minus 7 is -5. Draw your little number line. -5 in the middle and a number on either side. No equal to sign on that inequality, so an open circle, and larger than means pointing to the right. That's it. That is how you solve inequalities. So we're doing 5D. Easy to forget. Thank you.
Okay.